So when I was creating the biblical dietary videos, someone asked me to explain more clearly what does that mean or what does that entail. Basically, I'm going to look at Leviticus chapter 11 and Deuteronomy chapter 14 and some other verses that help explain the biblical dietary commands much more simply. Also, I plan on putting my own personal intakes in there, which is, again, my personal intakes. I'm not saying you should follow this, but this is what I personally do. Anyway, very simply, God created animals that are clean to eat and some animals that are unclean to eat. Basically, the clean animals can be eaten, unclean animals should not be eaten. So for land animals, the rule is very simple. They must chew the cud and have a split hoof. Now, the animals that are included in that include cows, sheep, lambs, deers, goats. The animals that are forbidden includes pigs, camels, and rabbits. Basically, because they do not either have one or two of the categories of the split hoof or hooves in the cud. For sea creatures, they are very simple. They must be able to have fins and scales. So animals include salmon, trout, tilapia, things that have fin and scales. The animals in the sea that you not should be able to eat were things like shellfish, shrimp, lobster, you got squid, octopuses, catfishes because they do not have fins and or slash scales. Now for birds or any flying creatures, there isn't a explicit command what you could eat. More so, a lot of commands what you shouldn't eat, and that includes a lot of predators and scavengers, things like eagles, vultures, bats, seagulls, things of that nature. But in the text, you have instances where God allows people to eat certain clean animals, like quails or doves. I'm pretty sure chicken and turkey be in the same category since it's not explicitly or stated of the unclean birds. So, practically speaking of, cows, beef, chicken should be clean animals or are clean animals. Animals such as like the stereotypical shellfish or pork are unclean animals. Which, if you live in America, they kind of push the whole, pork and shellfish. That's probably the most common stuff. If you live in those countries. Now, to be clear, there are other products that may use unclean animals. That's kind of like not necessarily hidden, but not a lot of people do not know about this in our food. For example, gelatin. So gelatin is supposed to be made of pig and slash or cow bones, but I think a lot of times they use pig bones, but it's not explicitly sure or label or which type of bones they use. So you got things like marshmallows, you got things like Sour Patch Kids, a lot of gummies, things that have gelatin in there, but they're basically pork in a sense, or most likely contain pork. I'm pretty sure they contain pork. I'm pretty sure that type of gelatin is pork, but unless I'm mistaken. So technically, that'll be like unclean foods in a sense. Now there are a few other dietary commands also. You have things like do not eat blood, do not eat animals that have been strangled, avoid the certain fat of sacrificial animals, which I should put a video that kind of explains a specific verse I should put on the screen somewhere. Don't eat animals that died naturally or were mauled by wild beasts. Now, for personal practices, I try to stay away from certain places or certain items if they cook the food on the same grill, in a sense. This is me personally. For example, if someone cooks, let's say, bacon on the grill, and it is chicken bacon up, put beef on the grill, I'm most likely not going to eat that. 'Cause I think when the grease touches, I'm not going to try to eat that stuff. Same thing with kind of oil and fried foods and stuff. If it's been fried with unclean foods, such as shrimp, I probably won't eat the chicken if it's fried in the same oil. Now, I know some restaurants they kind of have different standards depending on where you go. I used to work at McDonald's, and a while ago, since I kind of forgot how they did it back then, but I think for example, they cook pork and their beef on two different grills. So if I want a burger from McDonald's, I'll be okay, which I don't know about that. Or for some other examples, if someone cooks, let's say, pork or bacon on a grill, then they say they clean the grill. Unless it's not an earthenware vessel, I don't personally see an issue with that. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. It helps the channel. Take care.